Hey, good morning, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and quick do another personality disorder. So the personality disorder that I'm going to focus on this morning is schizotypal personality disorder. Schizotypal personality disorder is a mental health condition that causes people who have difficulty forming and maintaining relationships. People may appear odd or eccentric, and may have unusual thoughts or speech and behaviors. They also have trouble understanding how relationships form and how their behavior affects others, and may distrust others. So they may have large issues with trust. Some of their personality disorder symptoms that we're going to see in these people are extreme social anxiety, paranoia. They have odd belief systems, ideas of reference, distorted perceptions, odd communication. They're flat or inappropriate or restricted affect. So they have a flat affect. There's no emotion to them. Social isolation, they tend to isolate themselves. They can only handle being out in public so much. It causes severe anxiety for them to be out in public. And then they have an odd behavior or appearance. So maybe they dress differently than most other people would, out of the norm. They have their own sense of style, their own appearance. They generally have poor social skills and discomfort or anxiety in social situations or social isolation. I know a lot of times it's hard to tell because there's the people that have the schizoid or schizophrenia or schizotypal personality disorders, they kind of have a little bit of everything in there. And it's hard, unless you're aware of all of these different personality disorders, it's really hard to understand who is what. And it takes time or getting to know them. I knew somebody in the schizophrenia family that had a lot of these traits and these behaviors. And I remember just no emotion to anything. And often wondered if they had any sympathy or empathy within them. So in a world that's so quick to throw everybody into the narcissistic category, we need to understand, even though a lot of people may have traits of narcissism, what do they really have? What is their underlining thing that they might have? So with this type of schizotypal, they have difficulty forming close relationships and facing or fulfilling those relationships. Maybe since they lack a lot of emotion, they're probably not empathetic, they're not thoughtful, they are more self-centered or more selfish. Their focus is on doing their thing. And it states also with these this cluster, most of them have to have a job that is strict, and it's kind of like, I call it going to make the donuts. It's a 9 to 5. They're routine structured people. They have to have that structure in their life to survive. So it says odd behavior, speech patterns, and perceptions, and dressing or acting in an unusual way. Thoughts are unusual thoughts, ideas of reference, odd beliefs, or magical thinking, and unusual perceptual experiences. Emotions are restricted. Restricted affect and lack strong emotions. So it's going to be harder for them to be in relationships and to seem like they care. You're not going to get that sense of that they care about you or deep empathy. They're probably not going to be able to do those things. So the schizotypal personality disorder, it's marked by a consistent pattern of intense discomfort with relationships and social interactions. They come across as they're odd or eccentric, and they usually have few, if any, close relationships. They generally don't know how relationships form, or how the fact that their behaviors affect other people. They're not thoughtful, so they're not somebody that's going to think of you and then make a phone call to check in on you. They're not that. They are able to live and reside by themselves, and So it's not uncommon for these people to be seen left alone a lot. Famous people with schizotypal personality disorder were Emily Dickinson, Kim Jong-lee, Willy Wonka, and Einstein. They have found that there's no cure for this. So they say also, depending on the individual's presenting symptoms, antipsychotic medications, antidepressants, talk therapy, and behavioral therapy can be useful in managing these symptoms. I think sometimes too, when we get medicated with things, we are masking the underlying cause. What is the root cause of these different disorders that they're having, and what has truly caused them? And me being more geared towards Christ-centered things, I have to often wonder, are there generational curses involved in these? Not only generational curses, but are they also demonic influence or oppression that has helped geared this? So we need to go back to the root cause to try and figure out what is the underlying cause. And if you see somebody with this person, there was multiple people in that family line that had schizophrenia, schizoid, schizotypal disorders. So, and even autism. So we have to look into those things and figure out, you know, I know that this person at one point cried and said that once people got to know them, that they would always leave because they didn't get them. And so there was a moment of emotion in that time for this person. So Einstein himself had schizotypal traits that could constitute a predisposition. He displayed echolalia beginning in childhood. He often lacked the capacity to attribute mental states to others, a theory of mind, and therefore could sometimes be socially inappropriate or insensitive, especially during his youth. So, and you can read more up on Einstein and understand this disease or this diagnosis further on. We see that as we move forward in these days ahead, we're going to start to recognize knowledge is power. So the more you can understand and learn these personality traits and disorders that are out there, the more you're going to be able to learn how to interact with others and what sets them off and how to help them. So I think that everybody deserves to be loved in this life and in this world. And I hope that this helps you today. And I pray that you'll put this in your word bank and look into schizotypal personality disorder. And if you know somebody that has it, make sure that you're understanding that they don't think like you do. And therefore, they can't always understand the things like you do. Go forth and be blessed. Shalom.